My name is Hillel Cooperman. I'm one of the co-founders of a small local startup called Jackson Fish Market.
My name is Rob Moore. I'm the Customer Experience Design Manager for Safeco Insurance here in Seattle.
I think that you have to think about, especially with the obesity crisis in our country and the sprawl of our cities, these things are all interconnected. To me, the fact that you aren't within walking distance of fresh produce every day is a huge problem. And it's one of the reasons why we buy foods that are packaged and preserved. And it just so happens that also the foods that are most convenient for us to eat are the foods that are the worst for us to eat. And I like junk food. I love it. I like fast food and junk food and all that kind of stuff. But the older I get, the less of that I really can eat if I want to stay healthy. And what I really love is, even beyond all the junk food, is I also love fresh food. And there are places, there are countries where the dynamic of meals is very different than the way we eat here. First of all, they're smaller and there are more of them. People kind of eat all day. Second of all, breakfast and dinner are very vegetable, dairy, fruit, egg, grain focused, where lunch is, if any meat is consumed or proteins like meat or fish, that happens typically at lunch where there's the bigger meal. And the ability for the morning meal and for the evening meal to have fresh produce, fresh dairy, all those fresh ingredients and fresh bread makes a big difference in how you eat. And the real problem is that to get that stuff, I have to get in my car. I don't want to get in my car.
I think that Seattle has all the right building blocks to be a great livable city. It's got the right amount of industry and I think a good critical mass of people living downtown. I think what it can do now to start looking towards the future is create opportunities for people to really be themselves and express themselves in their city. So as opposed to creating heavily guided, more Disneyland kind of experiences in the city, create open places for people to express themselves and to make the city something that belongs to them as opposed to an architect's vision.
Can you give some specific examples of how exactly you think that could be enabled or afforded?
Sure. Yeah, I think that I like to look at sidewalks as an opportunity for people and businesses to really start to express themselves in the open, making the city, taking over part of the city with their either personal identity or their business identity. So businesses can extend themselves into the sidewalk and start sharing more of the experiences that they offer with the people in the city. And I love when people that live and work in the city can start to use the sidewalks as venues for self-expression and to create personal experiences. One of my favorite areas of this part of Seattle is the Triangle Park on Westlake Center. It just seems like all the crazy stuff happens there. That's the skateboarders are there, and they have the sand sculpture artists there a couple times a year, and it just seems like it's not designed to do anything specifically, but generally all sorts of things happen there, and it's a really vibrant and exciting space. One of my favorite experiences with Seattle is the fact that we make our tourists walk through some of the little bit sketchier neighborhoods on the way to the big tourist attraction at the Pike's Place Market. So instead of sterilizing that path to the market, I don't know if we force people to, but we allow people to walk through some pretty real, kind of gritty parts of the city. And I think that is a nice experience for tourists to experience our city that way, as opposed to a sterilized, manicured type of experience.